Day 338. So today was bike to work. I am using my new bike, and I am working on kind of learning it, learning the differences, figuring out what I need to do in order to get to work quickly and efficiently, and ride home and be happy with the ride. So it's not as fast as the e-bike. I don't know if I'll ever get to a point where I am that fast. And if I do, then good for me. But there are definitely, differences, right? Because the e-bike, right, it gives you assistance regardless of whether you really need it. And it gives you assistance, a varying assistance on things that get harder. So like the most noticeable assistance happens on, say, the hills, where you're not really switching gears, you're not really messing around with your ride, you're just pedaling and the bike handles it for you, and you get to the place that you need to be, right? Whereas where on the other side, with a standard bike, I am, the one I have to vary the gears. I have to figure out what is the level that it's going to take me to actually get up that hill and in the hill without having to stop, right? And so I'm the one who's having to figure out how far I'm willing to go energy-wise to get to the finish point. And so, on that note, right, my ride into work, I have some nice rolling hills. I have to get up to the Arboretum area, and then I kind of roll through the hills. And there are some decent climbs, but like I can use the downhill portion to kind of take me up the next portion, except for the ride in the last hill, which unfortunately this round I got to it at a red light, which means that I had to take a slow right turn, which means I really had to work up the first part of the hill. But I did get up it in one stop, which cut my time probably by like 6 or 7 minutes compared to the first round that I rode to work. So I went from 51 minutes to 43 minutes. So I definitely have some improvements still to do, but I am, it's not so much of a jump that I'm worried about getting to work on time. And so, there is that difference, right? The e-bike was giving me assistance at all times, whereas I am now reliant solely on myself to get to and from. And so, there were times, but that doesn't mean that I can't get to those speeds. I mean, there were times where on the e-bike, I was passed by other riders because the e-bike isn't really meant for speed, the one that I have. It's meant to get you from point A to point B, whether you're physically fit enough to do it or not. Whereas the bike that I have now, the city cruiser, it's not a complete road bike, but it's not a mountain bike either. It's meant to just roll down the road and be nice and light and that type of thing. And so it's got higher gears. I can go faster than I can on my e-bike without assistance, right? And so on those flats and on those downhills, I can actually push further than what I could do on my e-bike. So there are all those differences, and I'm happy to learn them, and I'm happy to work to improve myself in this new form because it's now a new challenge. So other than the e-bike, or the bike into work, I did go out with friends. I did have a couple margaritas and dinner and chips because we were in a Mexican restaurant. So we'll see what tomorrow's weigh-in is, and I'll tell you kind of where I'm at feeling-wise about that tomorrow.